for hunger. One country is staring at mass starvation as we speak. We're talking about Somalia. 200,000 people there face the prospect of starvation. The country is facing its worst drought in 40 years. Some 7 million Somalis face acute levels of food insecurity. That's almost half of the country's population. The United Nations has sounded an alarm.
Somalia is on the brink of a devastating and widespread hunger and mass starvation that could claim hundreds of thousands of lives. Since the beginning of this year, the drought emergency in Somalia has worsened dramatically, and today we are looking at a looming disaster.
People are dying. Somalia's malnutrition treatment centers have witnessed over 400 deaths this year. The United Nations has more grim estimates. Their humanitarian coordinator for Somalia says thousands have died. In recent years, drought has become fairly common in Somalia. This region, the Horn of Africa, is facing its driest conditions in decades. Rains have failed for 4 consecutive seasons, and the reason, we are told, is global warming. In fact, global factors have made the drought in Somalia worse. First, it was the pandemic. It cut supply chains, so humanitarian aid could not reach Somalia. Then began the war in Ukraine. Food supplies were disrupted. Prices of essentials shot up. Cooking oil and wheat became expensive. In some places, they're selling at a premium of 100%. The war has hit Somalia hard. It depended heavily on Russian and Ukrainian imports. 92% of its wheat came from those two countries. The war has cut off the supply, and the result is this: millions are at risk of death due to starvation. The biggest casualty will be the children of Somalia. The country suffered a famine in 2011. In that year, more than 200,000 children died. 200,000 children. It could be worse this time. A dire prediction was made in April this year. It said 350,000 children could die in Somalia this year due to malnutrition. 55% of Somalia's children are believed to be malnourished. Over 380,000 of them desperately need life-saving treatment. These are not just numbers, these are human beings. The shortage of food is forcing people to leave their homes. About 800,000 people have been displaced so far. They're living in camps like this one. Many such camps have come up in and around the capital city of Mogadishu. Every victim has a story to tell. Some parents left their children behind because they could not feed everyone. Mothers have been forced to choose which child gets to live. One of them is Amina Adi Hassan. This is her story.
qaraabadu waxay ka soo dhimatay jidka taa qaraabadu waxna ka soo dhamaatay qaraabada jid ay ku jirtaa lug boor garaacta ma haysteen anaga taa soo lugayni anaga ilmaha ku aan haas qoorna ku soo tagay aan soo lugayna baawar yak smayn ku soo bixiyay ay soo raacnay ay soo saareen walaalo miyaha anaga wax ma haysan hadan maxamar la rabnaa ogaa markana soo raaca walaalayaal dhayan gaar qori saarna ay soo raacnay inta keenan inta ay maal marka ay nadiifan si kuwan oo
These people are desperate. They came to these camps for food, but they're still starving. Health centers are flooded with patients of malnutrition, but there aren't enough medicines to treat them. And this is happening not just in Somalia. Kenya and Ethiopia too are facing famine-like conditions. 23 million people there are starving. According to one estimate, one person is dying from hunger every 48 seconds in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya, which means 60 deaths every hour. And over 1,400